Alright, so I want to finally get to the AC on my old 95 Chevy truck. I haven't had AC on this truck since I couldn't tell you when, probably late 90s, at least 15 years. And for a long time I thought I had a noise in the transmission, which turned out to be the AC compressor bearing or something on the inside was going out. So I believe it was summer of 2009, I put a new AC compressor on this, but I never hooked it up. Electrically, it's not hooked up. So what I want to do is, I finally procured some tools to work on AC. I've got my gauges and I've got a vacuum pump. So I'm going to hook up the gauges and try to pull vacuum on this, and we'll let it sit for a while and make sure that there's no leaks. Okay, so there's a new compressor, and like I said, that hasn't been hooked up for I don't know how long. Because the compressor will run when you put it in the defrost, and since I knew there was no refrigerant in here, I didn't want it running, so I left it unplugged. And right here is, I believe, my high side fitting, and over here is my accumulator, dryer, and right there is my low side fitting. One thing I forgot to mention about the vacuum pump is the one that I got apparently was meant only for R12, so I had to buy this fitting right here, screwed on the top of the fitting that came with it. The one that came with it I think was a 1/4 inch male compression fitting. You need a 1/4 inch male Acme, so I bought that adapter for next to nothing. It was less than $5 shipped. So yellow hose, we'll screw down to that. Low side fitting. Oh, cool. It's actually showing pressure. And high side fitting. So it looks like I've got about 20 psi on each side, which tells me that it's still sealed up, and maybe all I need to do is evacuate it and then throw in some refrigerant. That would be excellent. Alright, well, I'm going to turn on the vacuum pump. That's only 3 CFM, so I have no idea how long it's going to take for it to pull down, but come back here in 20-30 minutes and hopefully we'll see it down there close to inches of mercury, and about quote 28 is about as best you can get for it. We'll see. Actually, it looks like it's coming down pretty quick. Already right about -18 vacuum. There's 20. Cool. Maybe this won't take as long as I thought. Well, it hasn't even been 2-3 minutes, and this is about as close to 28 as I think it's going to get. So I'm going to go ahead and close them off. Shut the pump off. And I think mine. No, I do have a Schrader valve right there. Let some of the vacuum off that yellow line. Now I'm just going to let it sit there for maybe half an hour and make sure that the needle don't move. In the meantime, I'll probably go get some refrigerant. And with the compressor sitting for so long and not turning, one of the things I'm worried about is it doesn't move freely by hand like it should. You can actually see little marks where I've beat on a little bit just to get it to move some. So I am a little bit worried about that. What I'm thinking about doing is actually feeding power to
the AC clutch while it's running just to see if it'll actually engage and turn and not make a bunch of noise and whatnot. What I don't want to do is add a bunch of crap and crud into the AC lines. I mean, it goes right to the filter, dryer, whatever, but there's no sense in adding more to it if I can avoid it. It might take off and just run, it may not, but I think this will be a quick and easy way to figure out if it will or not. I've showed this in the Envoy video, but right here's my AC relay. I'm just going to take that out and put the power probe on it and feed 12 volts right to the compressor clutch and see if it turns and runs okay while the engine's running. Well, it's been about an hour and a half actually, and it looks like I've got 22 inches of vacuum still, which is pretty decent, I guess. So I'm going to check the compressor clutch, or compressor itself I should say, and make a decision from there. Okay, so just like the Envoy, it looks like for this relay we've got coil and contacts, and 8730 being your contacts and 8586 being the coil. So out of 87 and 30, whichever one is ground is probably my clutch. Okay, so after not getting anything, I realized that my connectors were not plugged into the AC compressor, so I've got ground on that one right there, so that's the one I need to feed power to. I can do that now. I should hear the clutch engage, but I do not, actually. Okay, one of the things I forgot to mention is I'm having a lot of problems with my fan switch, and this kind of proves it. Like, why am I losing power there? Look at that. Now I'm off and just jiggling it. That's crazy. Definitely need to replace my fan switch. This is also a good way to test that the controls in the truck are good. I have the fan on low and I have the AC turned on, and you can see I've got 11.2 volts. If I turn the AC off, I got 0. I don't know why it's not coming up with the red plus sign showing voltage. I do have full voltage there. It's just not quite 12 volts, I guess. So that's why I'm not getting the full 12. Turn AC off, fan's still on, so that part's still good. Now technically I should be able to feed power and ground from the power probe right to that connector and also get noise. And one cool thing about the power probe is I can actually put my ground on there and then put my power probe right next to it on the other pin and show ground. You can quite see that. Green light means I got ground. So now if I push my button up and power, I should. It's not clicking. What's funny, I'm not sure if that's actually coming out on camera. I've got some metal particles right here where I was hitting on it, and they're moving around, changing the light. Yeah, you can see that. So it's definitely magnetizing. There we go. Just push on it. So I'd say it's just too corroded up. That's why we weren't hearing it click over there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put the clutch connector back on there. So I could actually, let's see, I think the one thing that would stop us from doing this normally just by turning the AC on in the clutch would be the low pressure switch. So it'll still have to be done manually if we want to attempt this. Not only will it have to be fed power manually, but it looks like I'm going to have to come over here and actually hit that and push it in just to get it to attempt to turn. Okay, so if I want to run power to the AC manually all the time, I'm going to need power, and it looks like I've got juice right there on those posts. So I've made up this little extension. I've got a alligator clip and one of these, I believe this is more of a tip extension, and I'm just going to put that thing right in there, shove it down into that, and clip it right on there. Now I can actually go push on the clutch and make sure it actually works. Okay, if I did that right, I should have power over here, and I do. So now I can start the truck, and if it squeals really badly, I'm going to shut it off immediately. Let's try it out. I would say that was, I guess it was good to find out now. But yeah, that was pretty bad. Well, I'd say pretty obvious I should replace the compressor again, since it sat so long without running. It's really not a shock to me that it failed that badly. Good thing I didn't run it very long before shutting it off. You know, I don't want to get an extra bunch of shit in the lines, but since I'm going to replace the compressor, I might as well go ahead and replace the dryer as well. So I'm going to order parts and then get back with you.